So you got yourself a brand new 3D printer. Now what? You've come to the right place. Today on my channel, I'm going to take you through the whole process, beginning to end, of a project we're going to design and print ourselves. Stay tuned. Today, we're going to start this project in Design Spark Mechanical. I've got a playlist and a bunch of videos that you can check out. I'll put them wherever they go up here, so you can follow the link to those and see what's going on. Today, I'm going to add one new function in Design Spark Mechanical that hasn't been covered before, so stay tuned for that. So first off, we are going to head over to the computer and fire up Design Spark Mechanical. Here we go. So here we are in Design Spark Mechanical. I have already measured my little neodymium magnets that I'm going to use. So I'm going to recreate the magnet itself, which is 10 millimeters in diameter, and then I'm going to pull that up to 3 millimeters thick. So there's my magnet. That's what I'm going to have to match for my little design to create some kind of fridge magnet that makes these usable on the fridge but easier to get on and off of the fridge. So it should be pretty simple. Up here in my design tree, my design structure, I am going to click this and then click it again so I can label it magnet. That way I don't get any of my parts confused. So I keep that separate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create on a plane above it. I'm going to use the circle tool. And I'm going to go, notice I've got the Z coming up here, so I'm right above my magnet, which, keep in mind, I'm not going to print the magnet, I just need to know where it is. So I am going to create a circle here that goes out. I'm going to give my magnet at least 1 millimeter on each side in case I need some space for like some glue to squish up around it or something. I don't really want to try to make it fit super tight or snap in because I want the magnet to sit directly on the fridge all by itself. And I'm going to glue these into my 3D print pieces with some hot glue. That works pretty good with magnets. You could use super glue, but super glue doesn't handle the percussion of when you attach magnets to something very well. So you end up with the magnet falling out pretty easily. So I'm going to go on this, I'm going to go 12 millimeters, and then I need to draw me another circle, which I'm going to give my fridge magnet 2 millimeters on each side, so that's 14, 16. So then that's what I need. I'm going to go back to my pull tool. This outer part of the design, I'm going to pull. And remember in our last video we talked about the up to button, so I'm going to pull it up to this face right here to go around the magnet. Okay, remember this solid in the center here is my magnet. And then, so I've got a nice 2 millimeter, that's going to be plastic when I 3D print it. So I've got a nice 2 millimeter design there, give it some strength. So now I'm going to select this surface and this surface and that surface, the whole thing. I'm going to turn off my magnet so it doesn't become part of my design. Let's see, maybe I got to put that circle back. Let's put this circle back as well. So now I'm going to pull this whole side up using my control key on the keyboard. I'm just going to pull that up, let's say 2 millimeters. Now, this is literally just a cup. I've just designed a cup for the magnet to go in. So now what I'm going to do is I want to put on here some kind of handle. So I'm going to use my circle tool again, and there's a couple different ways you could do this, but I'm going to use my circle tool and I'm going to mark my plane, my drawing plane right there. So now I got to create the handle for it. So let's say I go up 10 millimeters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to create the bottom of my circle. I'm going to make my circle maybe a little bit bigger than the magnet cup that I've already done on the bottom. So let's say 20 millimeters. And I want it to be pretty centered, so I'm going to do that. with a 3-point circle. Now, what I'm also going to do is I am going to create a rectangle from inside the circle here. So let's say I want to go across 10 and down onto my magnet cup. Okay, so there we go. That's pretty good. So then I'm going to use my pull tool. Here's with a new trick that we haven't seen yet. I'm going to pull all of this. I just use my control key to select all of those. Okay, now here's the new trick. I'm going to do a radial pull. Okay, revolve. I'm going to tell it to pull around this axis right here, Z axis. See that? And then I'm going to tell it right here to do a full pull. So it should pull that all the way around and create right there a full cylinder with kind of a knob on top. Now the last thing I'm going to do is use the pull tool really quick. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it out in a nice curve to match my base, and I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to pull that out in a nice curve to make, let's say, maybe 9 millimeters on that one. And then I think this would look pretty good with this curved slightly as well. Maybe 2 millimeter curve on that one. So now basically I have a little push pin looking magnet holder that I'm going to glue the magnet in there, and it becomes a fridge magnet. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to save that. So I'm going to go to File and Save. In my 3D designs, I'll just save it in there. I'll save it in there as fridge magnet. So I'm saving it as a DS mechanical file. I'm saving it that way. And then I'm also going to go File and I'm Save As. I'm going to save it in the same location, but I'm going to change this to STL because I need the STL. I need the Design Spark Mechanical version so that I can edit in the future if I need to real easily. I need the STL version because that's what my slicer will accept. So then I'm going to click Save on that. And now I'm done with Design Spark Mechanical. Time to go over to my slicer. So here I am in my slicer. This is Prusa Slicer. I use Prusa Slicer for everything. This particular design I'm going to print out a PETG on my Maker Select because my Prusa right at this second is busy. So I'm going to open up my 3D designs right here. I'm going to grab my fridge magnet, STL, and I'm going to dump it on here. So there's my design. It looks very nice, I think. So far, it's not that bad. I am going to go ahead and multiply this. Maybe I'll make 4 for right now. Lay them out on there like that. Pretty simple. Now, I am using Prusa Slicer for pretty much all of my slicing. Doesn't matter what printer I'm using. I do have a video on how to set up Prusa Slicer for printers that are not Prusa printers, that are not built in. So you go check that out. It's on my channel. I just want to make sure I've got all of my stuff set up properly. I've got it set to the Octoprint. On my system, I send everything to my printers over the network through an Octoprint server. So that's pretty cool. I can check my print settings if I want, but I know that they're pretty much correct. So I'm going to try a slice. So I let it slice. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit and I'm going to check out the slice a little bit. I don't really need to do anything fancy with this. I'm just going to trust what Prusa Slicer is doing with the settings that I've got, so it's not that big a deal. It's a 1 hour and 23 minute print. I have some PLA already loaded in the machine. So on this, on my system, now I would just send it to the printer with this button right down here in the lower right. If you need to put it on an SD card for your setup, this would be the button you would push. So for me, I'm going to send it to my printer. Fridge magnet G code right there. That's what I want. I'm going to tell it to upload and print as my printer is ready to go. I'll see you back here in an hour. So here we have our prints off the printer. Build plate's still warm. I'll just grab a couple of these off of here. So there's the build. This is a silk PLA. It's pretty nice. A little bit of shine to it. So that's pretty sweet. This is our pocket that we're going to put magnets in. Here is the magnet itself right here. So that magnet goes right in the pocket just like that. And then over here I've got my already heated up glue gun ready to go. So what I am going to do with this is I'm going to put my magnet down on my silicone mat. The silicone mat will help me not burn anything. I got the glue is going pretty warm. It's been heated up for a while. So I'm just going to fill this cup with glue a little bit, not too much, but I want to get it kind of up on the edges a little bit. And then I'm going to take that and set that right down on that magnet. And then just leave it. There's one. So let's try a second one. I got another magnet there. We'll fill that cup one more time with some super hot glue that's been sitting and melting for a while. Nice and heated up. And I'm just going to set that right down on that magnet. Hopefully I got a little bit of glue squished around there. So I've got a little bit of glue up in here in the corners. So that's pretty good. If I need to, I can take a razor blade. Like this one right here. This is a chisel point razor blade. And I can just trim that off of there if I need to. I really do want the magnet itself to be touching the metal surface when it attaches, so that'll help and make it a nice strong connection. So over here I have a metal sheet, second build plate. There you have it. Little magnet. Well, that's it for this episode. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe down below, smash that like button, ring the bell, set that for all notifications so you don't miss out on a thing. We'll see you out there.